Hello, everyone. Welcome to Storypath Showcase. I am Travis Legge. I will be your host and story guide. This is session 1 of our Trinity Continuum Æon campaign. Last session, we got together, we built some characters and talked about some basics about what we were expecting to see come out of this story. And this week, we're going to dive into the action. So once again, I'd like to thank everyone at home for joining us. I'd like to thank the players for being here. And we'll go ahead and do our introductions. I will hand it off first to, let's say, Sebastian. If you could, please tell us who you are, what you do, your pronouns, who you're playing, and their pronouns, please. And then once you're done, you can pass it on to the next person, and we'll go round robin that way.
All right. My name is Sebastian Freeman, he, him. I am an aspiring writer, have written a couple times for Onyx Path, and I do a whole lot of stuff on my own, trying to expand that more and more into this Storypath system. My character is Patrick Grunge Fife, also he, him, a pilot a little stuck in the past. That's the grunge call sign.
Love it. And who would you like to go next?
Let's go with Scott. He's next on my screen.
Sounds good. Hi, my name is Scott Cuban. My pronouns are he, him. I run Simulacra Studios, which is an actual play studio. You can find us on YouTube and Twitch at Simulacra TV. I also am the co-host of the Polyhedron RPG discussion podcast, and I am playing Lieutenant Finn Wukon, a clairsentient working for the Legions. I'll pass it to Hiromi.
Hi, I'm Hiromi Kota. I am the creative lead for Scion. I also write for basically everything. I'm playing Kento, who is a grifter grifting grifters, who may or may not be the president of the crime family on the moon. She's not, but she might be. I am they, them. Kento is a little more ambiguous, probably gender fluid. So defaulting to they, them, because it makes it easy since those are my pronouns, but sometimes also she, her, because she's sometimes impersonating the president of the crime families on Mars. The moon. Also, she can space you with her brain.
Most important character
kind of is
aspect.
That is important to note. That is definitely an important trait.
And James.
Well, thanks. My name is James Zambrano, and I also write for just about everything Onyx Path does. There's a few things I haven't touched, I'm sure, but and I also write for. I've written for Hunters Entertainment. I've written for Renegade Game Studios. I've written for Ecstasis Games. A lot of writing. And my pronouns are he and they. My character's name is Cheche, a Norska agent, who, I don't know, probably uses every pronoun because doesn't give a shit about gender, because literally as someone who can change their body at will and does, can be anything they want. And so, maybe like close personal friends might like lean into some they, them, but like most people probably would go with whatever the presentation is at the moment, and Cheche's fine with that.
Cool. And I may have forgot to mention, but my pronouns are he, him, they, them are totally fine with me too. I have no objection to non-gendered pronouns by any stretch. Awesome. So as we discussed last week, we're going to dive right into the tale in media res, as they say, right? That's probably being mispronounced. I learned it by reading. You had disembarked from the lunar Leviathan base. And you were heading to Avarius on a diplomatic mission was your initial plan, if I recall correctly, yes? Where there's a strong Norsa presence, but there's also some local unrest, one might say, with the colonists. Bit of disagreement over who gets to be in charge of things out there. So the Æon Trinity has sent the USS Chicago. It is largely carrying humanitarian supplies. Leviathans are massive ships. They are a little over 1 kilometer long and have several interior docks that can be converted to either cargo bays or troop transports if it's for like a battle outing. But they also have the ability to piggyback like frigates on top of the Leviathan itself. So when they're going out and expecting to get into a firefight, for example, those will often have additional drop ships, warships, things along those lines. But that's not what you're looking at with a Avarius. You're looking at mostly, there's probably an entire frigate that's carrying like seeds, crops, and livestock. There's probably an entire frigate that's carrying medical supplies and personnel. The main crew of the Leviathan itself is comprised of several individuals, but also has from across the Psi orders and from the Æon Trinity. But there are also a small detachment of Chin diplomats, and the Chin are the first friendly alien species that humanity has made contact with. They have a diplomatic relationship that's largely friendly. Initial contact was made or facilitated, I guess one could say, by the Ministry of Psionic Affairs, which is part of why the species and their houses and things along those lines all have Chinese names. The detachment is, however, small. There are a few technicians because the Chin were invaluable in the construction of Leviathan technology. So they tend to have a few techs on every Leviathan that dispatches. And there are probably 2 or 3 diplomats aboard as well, if nothing else, to study human interaction. Other than that, it's largely the personnel required to operate the ship, a small detachment of Legionnaires in case trouble gets run into, probably 1 bay full of like fighters and Vargs, which are effectively like vacuum suits that are used for fighting in space or for hostile environments, kind of like mechs, if you would imagine. Some of them are hard tech, some of them biotech, some of them are hybrids. But for the most part, this ship is loaded for diplomatic means. The Leviathans are piloted by clairsentients who attune themselves to the Tessor drive, the living engine of the Leviathan, and use their own psionic ability to lock onto a distant location and then tell the ship where to jump, and then the ship jumps. It's whether your characters have personally been on a jump before or not, you would all have been briefed and be aware of the fact that jumps can be a bit unpredictable in Leviathan. The amount of time it takes to travel from point A to point B can vary, even if it's the same ship with the same pilot jumping to the same locations, because they're moving through the subquantum universe through a method that the technicians do not 100% understand. So it's a little hard to predict exactly how it's going to go. And the jumps themselves can be a bit unsettling to those aboard. There is a bit of a psionic wave that goes off when the ship jumps, which can cause some psi shock in people who are on board or who are too close by. So as a standard practice, Leviathans generally are not activated anywhere near a population center. They usually try to get a few 100,000 kilometers away from anything that's like thinking before they jump. So there's a bit of sublight travel involved before the actual jump kicks off. Just going around the group, Finn, your position on the ship, you were if I'm remembering correctly, were you a pilot?
No, I'm not a pilot. I'm like security consultant, probably assigned to, he's definitely a part of the Legion contingent.
Right.
But he's probably assigned as kind of the security minder for other scions of others' orders on the ship. Just, make sure that they're protected and don't get into any trouble.
All right. You're kind of walking the ship, doing your sort of post-takeoff assessment, looking around, checking various readings and touching base with other security personnel. Everything seems to be relatively standard at first. But as you're checking with one of the Orgatech crew members, they sort of pause and say, I'm getting a unusual reading in docking bay 2 that might require a bit of investigation. I think we might have some biomass that made its way in there that we're not expecting.
Interesting. Sure. Let me check that out and then go check that out. And he'll close his eyes for a moment and focus his attunement on that area.
Okay, you're just going to try to do like a general attunement.
Yeah, just a general sense of that area that he's talking about.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a psi roll, please.
Okay, so that would have like a psi attunement roll, so it'd be plus my highest mode.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, cool.
So, and I don't believe the modes on the sheet are specifically set up to roll, so you will just need to manually roll dice for the mode dice. You can, if you look at the bottom of the chat there on Astral Tabletop, you'll see the die shapes. So you can go ahead and click the 10-sider, and it will add D10s, one per click, into the chat.
Excellent.
And what we'll have to do is just, once it goes into the chat, you can actually hover over the number and see how many successes it rolls if it doesn't have the auto success calculator formula up, which those won't. Make sense?
Yeah. Eats my system resources, but oh man. Hold on, I think I clicked the wrong die there. Trying to find the D10.
It's the fourth one over.
Yeah, fourth one over.
Fourth one over, okay.
Yep.
Whew. It's hard to read.
Is Astral giving you some trouble?
Yeah, apparently Astral's like really eating my system resources, so it's very slow for me.
What browser are you viewing it in?
Using Chrome.
Do you have any option that's not Chrome?
I do have Firefox. Let me try that. Hold on.
Hot tip for anyone watching at home. I recommend using not Chrome.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just tested it out too, and like my die roll isn't going through it all, so I'll pop up with a different.
Yeah, Firefox I think is probably best. The other thing is it depends on whether or not you have your hardware acceleration on your browser. that can make the world of difference. But off the top of my head, I don't remember which one is better. Having it on, I think, is better.
Let's see how this works. All right. Oh, that's immediately better. Holy crap.
Excellent. Okay, so looks like we've got one success on that attunement roll. You can sense kind of a vague feeling that there is some level of subquantum disturbance in that area, but it's pretty hard to pin down, especially because everything around you is sort of exuding psi.
Right. Yeah. I'll say to my Orgatalk friend here, so like, yeah, I sense that too. I'm gonna go check it out physically.
I appreciate it. You may want to take a couple of folks with you.
Yeah, sure. I'll key into my sort of like Legion's communication channel and just say, we've got a disturbance in the cargo bay area too. Can I get a couple of regulars to come with me?
Yes, sir.
And I'll reconnoiter with them and head into the bay. Excellent.
As you're on your way down there, Grunge, what would you be doing shortly after takeoff from the lunar base?
Probably hanging out with another couple of pilots, playing some cards, just making, just relaxing, almost no care in the world. I mean, nothing's happening, so there's no cause for alarm.
All right. So you're sitting like in the docking bay where the actual fighters are docked?
Yeah.
All right, rock and roll. Just for clarification, Finn, I'm assuming, communicating direct over a Legion's channel, not like over the PA or something?
No, it's private Legion communications.
Hey, everybody.
Got to do security protocols. Not everybody needs to know this shit.
Beautiful. So what kind of stakes does Grunge like to play for?
Just low stakes, mostly for fun.
All right, so just playing, having a good old time.
Yeah.
There's this Orgatech hotshot, calls himself I'm trying to think what the cockiest pilot name one could possibly have. He calls himself Maverick, who is he just keeps, trying to bury everybody in bets, and just a real jerkwad. On top of it, not a very good card player. So he's also losing his shirt over and over again. And the rest of the crew, there's, most of the pilots there are probably either Orgatech, Legion, and there's probably a couple of ministry pilots there. And everybody's just kind of having a laugh at this guy's expense, to the point that by the time you're about 10 minutes out of base, you've probably been sitting there playing for a while. You secured your ship well before takeoff. Probably been sitting there for a while. So by this point, they're not even like trying to hide the mockery. And he just keeps, slapping down more money. He's like, that's all right. Cassell prints money for us. We're fine. Just talking, just real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
While that's going on though, why don't you go ahead and just give me it's psi plus your highest mode. So I think there's a psi roll button on the sheet you can hit, and then you can manually put in the number of dice of your highest mode.
I'm not sure where that's at.
The psi roll or your highest mode?
No, the psi roll.
I believe I could be. I may very well be mistaken. Yep.
It's by your side
Oh.
rating.
Yep. Under where it
and
says
it's in red.
tolerance on the
Mhm.
sheet. If you look right below tolerance, there should be a red text that says Cyril.
Okay.
Okay.
And then 2 more.
That's not great. All right. It looks like there's an error in that formula. I'll get that fixed.
All right.
Yep.
But
So
just
go ahead and give me 5.
5 plus.
Yep. 5. Just go ahead and roll 5d10. Sorry about that. Beautiful.
Nice.
All right. So yeah, we've got, and one of those is a 10, so you may re-roll that 10. So that's 3 successes. Go ahead and roll again. Okay. You feel like this twist in your gut, like something bad coming from the direction of the cockpit.
Of the Leviathan.
Yeah.
Which
Like
could be
from the direction of the bridge, I should say.
Oh, okay, the bridge, which could be up to half a kilometer away, or quite some distance.
You're at Psi 3, so
Yeah.
your attunement range is, I mean, it could be anywhere on you're probably realistically half a kilometer from the bridge.
Oh, okay. Given that this seems a little odd, I'm just gonna have to bow out from the game, guys. I'm sorry. Y'all have fun with him. Just don't beat him up too bad.
So are you all right?
No, I gotta check something. I gotta, yeah. I'm sorry, what? Okay, yeah, I gotta go. And then I'll, as I'm walking away, I'm going to kick up my subquantum sense just to kind of see what's going on in my immediate vicinity, just to, see if anything's too close.
Okay.
So that is just a psi roll.
Yep. And yeah, it looks like that. Looks like unfortunately that formula is not running right for some reason. I'm gonna have to double check that. All right, so it looks like we got 2 successes.
2 successes.
I'm just popping in. If you see your character rolling things, don't be surprised. I'm just popping in to see if it's a across the board problem with that. I'll have to get that repaired. I apologize deeply for that. But I had that sorted. Okay. Yep, it's everything. It's not just me making things up in my mind. Okay. So you got 2 successes on your subquantum sense?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. You almost immediately sense that there is trace amounts of aberrant corruption that appears to be moving through the Tesser.
Oh, that's no good at all.
No, it's bad news.
Yeah, that's... So immediately I'm looking for anybody that might not be just a pilot or a mechanic, looking for somebody who's important as far as security measures that might be nearby.
Excellent. As you step out of the cargo bay, you step into the hallway as 3 Legionnaires are approaching, heading toward, basically, as you come out of the door, the doors across the way lead to the other cargo bay. So you see these 3 Legion guards coming across.
Flag them down. Flag them down.
You see a pilot stepping out, Finn flagging you down. Have you two met previously? Is that something that we had established? It's up to you, frankly.
I imagine we'd have probably passed each other in passing. Unless you had been like suppressing your psi, I would probably know you're a scion just because clears are really good at picking that up.
No.
Then yeah, he'll sort of nod to you and say, Grunge, was it? Yeah, what's the problem?
Yeah. Did you feel something really weird just a minute ago?
We picked up a disturbance in the cargo bay.
Yeah. I picked up, I'm thinking it's more Tesser.
Up in the bridge?
Yeah.
That's
bad.
That's not good. I don't like multiple bogeys is bad. Did you get a read on what it might be?
Leaning in a little bit closer to not, panic all kinds of people who might be walking by, but it felt more aberrant than friendly.
Noted. And I press a button on my comms that pretty much every Legionnaire has. That essentially is like if anything aberrant smells, it just pings that into the system so that every Legionnaire on board knows that to pick up their gun essentially.
Sure. So you're gonna kind of hit the panic.
It's
button?
not like a big klaxon alarm. It's just threat level 1, suspicion of aberrant activity.
Okay. As you are doing that, where is Checha right now? Shortly after the launch.
Well, I imagine that I'm hired onto this ship for engineering, I guess, because I have good technical and science skills.
Okay.
I'm not too picky. Whatever reason sounds good, but that's where I'm strongest. So.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you have some other interests that are connected to the journey itself.
Yes,
well,
but
right?
that might not be why I'm hired on.
Sure.
I probably found a reason to get hired on, and that's not as important as my other interests.
Cool. We'll say for argument's sake, you're in just sort of general engineering.
Yeah, probably doing some repairs on something, or maybe working on something that's not functioning correctly.
Cool. We'll say for convenience's sake, you're actually working on an airlock that goes out to one of the external frigate ports. So basically there was some concerns about whether this airlock was going to be able to hold weight in the event that you had to do any actual cargo transit stronger than a couple of people in between. So you're kind of just doing a general assessment of that area. But it is close enough that you can sort of hear the marching feet of Legionnaires in the hallway more than anything else. And some sort of conversation going on. If you'd like to, I guess first off, why don't you go ahead and give me a psi roll and then add separately dice equal to your highest mode. I believe all of the psi rolls are fixed now. I really apologize for that error in the formula.
Okay, so what is it you want me to roll? I'm sorry, I don't think I quite understood.
It would be you roll a psi roll.
Okay, so just my psi.
Yep, and then what you should have different modes listed under your psi.
Yes.
The number of d10s equal to your highest mode.
So both numbers together.
Yeah, so both numbers. So because of the way the sheets are set up, you'll have everything needs to be rolled separately anyway. But we don't have, so if you have to roll an attribute ability, you'll click each one separately and it'll register a separate roll. But we don't have anything set up for the mode rolls So those you can just do manually.
There you go.
Or you can do the whole thing manually. That works too. All right, you did get 1 10, so go ahead and roll 1 more die because 10s explode. So it's 2 successes total. All right, we're at 3 successes. Beautiful. So you also sense 2 things. One, you get the impression of a living person inside of that, some sort of source of psi coming from inside of that cargo bay that you know is supposed to be empty. But 2, you get the slightest feeling that there's some level of static sort of in the area. You can't quite put your finger on what that static might be, but you definitely feel that something is off about the ship itself.
So something's wrong, and it's in the direction that the Legion is marching to.
One of the sources, yes.
Oh, there's 2 sources.
Yeah, there's kind of an overall feeling of like almost like psionically speaking, you're holding your hands over your ears, like there's something that's like causing kind of like a warble in your psi senses that you can't quite put your finger on, and that's kind of a permeating thing. But then you're also definitely feeling the presence of some living being inside of that cargo bay that you know is supposed to be empty. And that sounds like probably where the Legionnaires are going.
The one that I'm checking out right now?
The one that's right outside the airlock where you're at. So if you imagine this hallway that you're in being like, there's sort of a central hub. The door to, if you're facing the airlock, the door to the left goes into the cargo bay that's actually being used as a ship transport for fighters. The door to the right is the cargo bay that shouldn't have anyone in it, but does. And dead ahead would be the airlock that you're working in.
Is there any way for me to look inside of this cargo bay that I'm near?
You'd have to like pop in and actually open the cargo bay doors.
I have to open the door. There's like no like video feed or anything like that.
Not from where you're at. No.
All right. Is it safe for me to open the doors? Like I'm not going to like get sucked out into space or something like that?
No. Yeah. Everything should be sealed at this point.
All right. Well, I'm just going to, have my toolkit at ready. I suppose it would make more sense for a weapon, but I think I have my toolkit at ready. Right. And open the door and find out what's going on in there.
All right. So you drop down out of the airlock and come walking over. Basically, kind of as this conversation, this initial connection between Finn and Grunge is happening, and Chicha is actually closer to the door than as you're walking up. And were you? So you had just like had that exchange. What was your next step as you see this Norsa technician come walking over as well? Kind of you're starting to congregate by this cargo bay door, and looks like they're going to open the cargo bay door.
Okay, I'll look over to the Norsa operative. Once again, I'm assuming since given my assignment, I would assume I'd at least be familiar with their face.
Yeah, if nothing else, you've seen like a personnel log of who's supposed
unless
to
I've changed it, but
unless you've changed it,
that is true.
But I'll just sort of like take a moment, pause, say, "You're with Norsa, right?"
Yes, I am.
We have suspected aberrant activity near the bridge. I'm assuming you're assigned to what the biosystems here.
I'm just here checking up on the equipment. We should check out what's going on in here, though. Let's open it up.
Yeah, I sense something too. We'll check it out real quick. The aberrant takes higher proximity. The only reason that we're checking this out is because we're literally here. But otherwise, we need to be heading up to the bridge.
I would have checked it out either way, but let's open the door.
Wait,
fair
is
enough.
there something beyond this door?
Yeah, and I just open it.
Right, you pop the lock. The door is open. Kento, you hopped into a cargo chute off the moon that was, as far as you knew, supposed to be going to Mars. You rode your way in. You felt the landing happen. It felt a little bit off, a little strange. Not kind of what you were expecting, a little rougher than you expected. But you got there, you're in one piece, and you're relatively comfortable in your converted cargo box that I would assume you have probably prepared to some degree, knowing that you were going to be in it for a little while. So there's probably like comfortable seating, maybe something to like something padded to lean on or bump into if things get a little bit rocky. I would like you to make a attunement roll. So again, psi roll plus your highest mode. As soon as sort of the thing settles down.
What?
So that's a, it should be one success.
There should be one success. Why did I punch that in wrong? Oh, yeah, I did. 10s explode, but 8's the target number.
Yep. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, cool. So you got the one success. That's enough for you to recognize two pieces of very vital information. One, the ship that you're in is very much alive. Two, that's not where you're supposed to be. You definitely feel the living, like the almost ubiquitous psionic energy around you from the Leviathan itself.
Welp. That's what I get for trusting.
You're just going to kind of sit there and shake your head and hope that you wind up somewhere nice.
I have no idea where I'm going to, but there's not a lot that I can do about it at this point. So,
all right. So you're comfy. No reason to be worried at this point. The three of you and the two Legionnaires that you're traveling with step in to the cargo bay. Now, this cargo bay is absolutely full of shipping containers, various things. There's probably crates from 20 different companies and entities in here. You can bring up a manifest from any of your mini comps. You all probably have, I would assume, a mini comp that connects to the ship's computer. So you can bring up a manifest of what's supposed to be there if you'd like. Are there any other investigative or psionic tricks you would like to use to try to figure out what this life sign is that you're all sort of feeling?
My investigative trick, Cheche's investigative trick, is going to be to like knock on containers and be like, "Who's home? Hello?" and like go through it.
I love it. Definitely.
I know that you're asking the other folks, but I would like to use spatial sense because I can sense space, and that's important to me right now.
Absolutely. Go ahead, and that's just a straight up psi roll, correct?
I think so. I hope so.
That's under teleportation, right?
Neat.
Okay. Just one second.
Why did that not explode?
Because the formula doesn't have explosions programmed in, probably.
Oh.
So go ahead and roll 2 dice again.
Three total.
Beautiful. Okay, so with spatial sense, okay, you have absolute spatial awareness of everything within short range, so about half of the cargo bay. You know the location, dimensions, and relative density of everything in the area, but can't discern color or details such as images or words on a screen. And this lasts for a number of rounds equal to your psi. So you can definitely tell, you're close enough to those doors that you can definitely tell that 5 people have just walked into this area. You also can feel like, okay, there's a lot of cargo in here. That box definitely has like potatoes in it. You're like, so you've got kind of that level of like what's in the stock and whatnot. But yeah, you can.
All right, time to warm up the lies.
Excellent. Any other investigative tools? You definitely, aside from the spatial sense, you can literally hear like the ding ding of somebody knocking, through the container. Not on your container yet, but someone out there is beating on those containers. Our Finn and Grunge, are you doing anything else from an investigative standpoint?
Yeah, I'm going to try another more focused attunement roll, just because it's my good trick.
Coming from like straight attunement, you're probably not going to be able to pinpoint a specific person in a place. Attunement's generally not that, unless they're actively like using psi. Well, which I guess they are. So yeah, go ahead and roll. Never mind.
And then a psi roll.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, so 2 successes.
Just a note, because I do have the psi, the basic power of the sight, in addition to normal attunement information, I get the psi trait, current number of psi points, and the aptitude of each scion within my range.
Oh, beautiful.
Which with my range is 100 kilometers, but I really only care about this room right now.
Okay. There are 2 psychokinetics in the room with you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a biokinetic. There's a teleporter.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he pick up from you, if anything, Grunge?
Oh, I'm not hiding it because I'm getting ready to use it.
I would assume that I'm going to go ahead and assume that if you're on in a ship full of scions, you are projecting the wrong. You're using your Cycloak to some level.
Okay.
Just because that would be very, very foolish not to. And I think you can choose which you're projecting, but let me double check that in Cycloak.
I think you would have to roll it since I'm using that power to actively scan for life signs in the room that he is in.
Yeah.
So it would have to be a roll off.
Yeah, I would think so. Let me just double check how this goes. Oh, actually, that doesn't let you. You can either have it on or off. So yeah. So you also clock that you have a quantum kinetic with you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a hand signal to my fellow legionnaires, and I'll put one towards the direction where I sense the teleportational information, but the other 2 of them are going to turn towards Grunge, and my hand is on my gun, and I'm gonna say, "Sir, I'm gonna need to see your identification."
Again. Let's handle this later. Again, we'll handle this later. But meanwhile, I'm using my subquantum sense to zoom in on whoever was detected in this cargo bay before we open the door. So I'm looking for any other active psi powers going on.
Go ahead and roll your psi plus, or just your straight psi for subquantum sense. And while we're at it, Checha, why don't you go ahead and just give me a integrity roll, and you can pair that with whatever attribute you think might work best in terms of, because you're searching to see if you can pick up any clues, like as you're listening and while you're knocking on these. And we'll see how that goes as well. And were those raw numbers? Were those also grunge?
Oh, wait a second. That did 5 already.
Yep. I got you. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, the first 2 dice that I rolled extra would have been the exploded. It disregard that second 2 dice because my side roll did 5. So 2.
Okay. Again, you're clocking the use of psionics in that crate. Like you can point to that crate.
Okay.
But you feel another swell of corruption.
Like nearby?
Kind of everywhere, in the same sense that the Tesser is everywhere. Checha, you're just banging on stuff and you're like, no, this is, I can't even tell if this is open.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do have biosense, but this is more exciting right now. but what I want to say is I did that roll that you requested and it failed. So if it's not working,
Sure,
I will go ahead and use biosense.
Go ahead and give me a psi roll as well, if you don't mind.
Okay. And this is just flat psi, right?
Psi plus, flat psi for biosense, absolutely.
Okay.
And it should now work when you click the psi roll button, but.
Oh, well, I'm just doing it this way.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll also note the site is particularly good at picking up sources of corruption. So if I would pick up that as well.
Yeah, because that's active now for the rest of the scene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So you feel with the site. So Checha, you immediately clock onto there is a living human being in this container 10 meters away from you. You also feel the biological swell, almost like a gland getting ready to do an excretion that would move, that would come along with a Tesser preparing to jump. So all this stuff is really happening like rapid fire, right? You feel the corruption pulse as well, Finn.
Mm-hmm.
And Kento, you feel the spatial pulse about to kick off, like this ship's about to jump. You can all do exactly one thing before the jump kicks off. And we'll start with Kento because Kento is kind of in a separate area.
Pop my crate door. Hold on to your butts.
Would you mind describing what they see as you pop this crate door, by the way?
You see a large lunar, tall lunar, like because most lunars are tall. Japanese person. I mean, kind of like my icon with the undercut, but with green hair because fuck it, every character I'm playing is gonna have green hair. Just in a like an updated bomber jacket. So I don't, not exactly what grunge is wearing, but like there's clear similarities.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Anything on your person or anything you're carrying?
A watch in my hand that I'm like looking back and forth, and the jacket probably has Upeo markings.
Okay, cool. Checha, what would you like to do?
I think I would say, you got any room in there? Because this is about to suck, and like try and get in with Kento.
Excellent. So you move in.
I don't know if I have room for all of you, but sure.
I don't care about them.
What would Grunge? Actually, I'm going to say what would Finn do? Because Finn's a little trigger happy at the moment. So what would Finn do with all this stimulus?
Finn would essentially give a quick order to train guns on Grunge. And he feels the corruption. He feels like the whine of the ship going up, and to say, hold steady, keep eyes on this one.
All right, they upstrap and say, "Sorry, sir, we're going to need you to hold still." And what would Grunge like to do?
Now with guns pointing at me, that changes things. Just, hey, whoa, this is not me. This is not me. You feel all this around me. And at the same time, I'm popping up my kinetic shield. Just right. To like, whoa, it's, no.
Go ahead and make that psi roll for your kinetic field.
Turn their guns into ice cream machines.
I mean, that's just a mean thing to do, like right off a jump.
Oh, hey, I like that. 2 more dice. Oh my gosh.
All right, roll again.
The exploder has become exploder.
And 1 more.
Again.
All right, so that's a total of, we got 2, 4, 5, 6 successes on your shield. That does cost you a psi point, however.
Yes.
So that imposes a complication of 3 on any psi or quantum powers used against you. If the power, oh my God, if the power's originator succeeds on the roll but doesn't overcome the complication, that power acts against everyone in the area who isn't protected.
Nice.
And you can shield other Scion, other targets.
Oh, no. This is my kinetic shield.
Oh, okay. I was just looking at...
Under parakinesis.
Oh, okay. I was looking at fundamentals. Okay. That's a different take. Parakinesis just gives you soft and hard armor.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Okay. And does that also require a side point?
Only takes a side point with a reflexive action.
Okay, excellent. So that you're using die action, so it does not take side point. Beautiful. Right. You kick your shield up. Everything goes white. You feel this sensation of, for a brief moment, having a perspective of the true depth and breadth of the universe, like you stepped into the infinite perspective vortex for just a second or two, and then are immediately slammed back into the confines of your own consciousness and physical form. It's utterly disorienting to all of you. And in fact, to Kento, probably feels worse, as this is, you're moving through the subquantum universe under a power that is neither your own nor natural. So it's disconcerting, to say the least. What is everyone's psi minus composure?
Ooh. Minus composure.
1.
-1.
2.
Okay. If it is greater than 0, you suffer a complication equal to that sum for the remainder of this scene. Okay. As you start to react very negatively to the jump. Almost immediately, you'll notice that all of your mini comps are like giving out a staticky sound. And that staticky sound is cut into. You look over at one of the two people that has their gun trained on you is like holding their forehead and blood is pouring out of their nose. The other one is still training their gun at you, but they're like stumbly. And almost immediately, as soon as that static starts, you hear a voice break through and it says, Finn, it's the Orgatech who sent you down there.
Mm-hmm. And I was at -1, so I'm assuming I'm like rock steady.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. I'll hit the comms and say, what's going on? I've got a real situation here.
Yeah, us too. We got a problem. Captain Wilcox is, something went wrong with the jump.
No shit.
Oh, it's bad. Oh.
I'll say, we'll be up in a second. I'll look to Grunge and I say, you realize how goddamn suspicious this looks?
Sure. Hey.
You're not making me feel any better about this. Everyone's got secrets, and I'm not in the mood to start blabbing because I don't know what the hell is going on.
Oh, shoot, man. There's no secrets here. I am a pilot. I have been working with Aeon Trinity, not with any of the other orders. You know, I'm just a pilot.
Do you want me to say it? Because I'll say it. We have to get up to the bridge.
Okay,
There's probably aberrant activity. Something's wrong with the jump.
And you will need me to protect you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll look over to Cheche and say, all right, I wanted him to come clean on this. He's a quantikinetic. And I'll look over to our friend and say, like, stowaway, right?
What was Cheche going to do?
Actually,
So
surprise inspection. It took you 41 minutes to find me, and your jump drive's malfunctioning. Oh my God, I'm going to dock the shit out of you. What the fuck is going on here? Seriously.
Hold on.
This is what you're doing? This is how you operate?
Wait, before
I'm
we
going
go
to take your fucking pilot's license. Who the fuck is in charge of
do
this?
not care if you're a stowaway.
I'm pointing at Finn.
Before we go too far down this road, what were you going to say, Judge?
Meanwhile, directly next to Kento, like Cheche had such a bad reaction to this jump that just like for a moment, like all of their flesh kind of like sloughs off.
Oh no!
And then like as Finn is like saying, "Hey, check out this problem person," it's like coming back on, and they're like, "What? Hello."
Okay. Yeah, I'll just like looking between the three of these people, just like, what did I do to draw this assignment?
Let's get a command roll from Kento. Unless there's another skill you'd like to make an argument for.
I would like to use persuasion.
Persuasion would be fine. What attribute would you like to rely on?
Manipulation.
I'm going to give you a complication of 4.
Okay.
Because you're a stowaway. The jump went sideways. There's definitely some sort of aberrant situation going on. And there's panic from the bridge that seems to be unrelated to all those things. So let's see what we get on that roll. Do you have anything that you would like to try to claim for enhancement?
We're going, or we're supposed to be going to essentially a Nupeo colony, yeah?
Well, I mean, it's a colony. The colony itself is technically a Norsa colony, but I mean the Upeo certainly have some sort of jurisdiction over transit and have been very interested in the Leviathan program. Having said that, though, I don't know that it would be enough to give you enhancement because Orgatech and the Æon Trinity have been doing everything they can to kind of keep the Opeos jumping separate from the Leviathan project.
Okay.
So let's do it with those enhanced or with those.
I'm also a skilled liar.
That will come in handy. That's what, 2 enhancement?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Excellent.
So 5 successes, but I had 5 complication.
You had 4 complication.
4 complication.
So you can buy off each of those complications and have 1 success. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. That's probably going to be enough that you can. I don't think you've convinced anyone that this is 100% on the level, but it's probably enough to, particularly those of you who have a chain of command that you're used to following, to say, all right, let's table this right now. We're going to keep an eye on the quantum kinetic, contain and move. And
that is the general plan.
Yeah.
If they are a stowaway is perfectly manageable. So it's cleared enough that he does not care about like what your actual situation is. But yeah, like he'll like slap his freaking out Legionnaire buddies around a little bit and say, all right, keep an eye on the quant, and we're heading up to the bridge.
Sir, can I ask you to please
suspicious.
Put on these restraints?
I'm just walking with Finn. Not too close, not getting all crazy with him, but I'm just walking right with him. Like
you're walking in front of me.
Okay, yeah. That's fine. I'm in front. That's okay.
I mean, like we might need him. Just if I start shooting him, you do it too.
There are theoretically turbo lifts. That you can hop on that will scoot you across the length of the ship. The first one you encounter is fried out. And as you're looking around, you're noticing a lot of the tech, like a Leviathan jump always causes some glitches and knocks out a few systems, and it takes a few days to get everything back up to speed. But this is not the way it's supposed to go. It seems like at a casual estimation, about 50% of the electronics you encounter have been fried.
About how far away from the bridge are we, like distance-wise?
Probably 500 meters.
Okay, so we could book it if we needed to.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll look to our teleporter friend. What's your name, by the way?
Sokka.
Sokka, great. How much can you move? Can you move us?
Not as a group.
Shit. All right. Stay in tight formation. We're booking it.
What?
Go ahead.
What is standard duration based on psi?
It depends on your psi. That would be in your let's see. Just checking real quick.
Duration for Psi 3 is minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
It's in there's a chart on page 206 of Æon.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So within a short amount of time, my masterful, amazing kinetic shield unfortunately fades away.
Yeah.
I believe you can commit the psi points to keep it going if you
didn't
want.
Spend to kick it on. So by the time all of the powers that you've activated basically fade by the time you arrive at the bridge. As you get closer to the bridge, it seems that the damage to the ship itself, electronically, seems to get more severe. And as you get within probably about 100 meters of the bridge, there's like mechanical damage, like doors not opening because hinges are fused, like pieces of bulkhead like bent.
Cheche leans over to, what did you say the name was? Hiromi Saka? Was that the
Yeah.
thing name? Okay. Cheche leans over to Saka and is like, you really shouldn't be worried about the 41 minutes. Look at this.
The pilot's really bad. You would think that a pilot would be capable of
What do you do? Hit the moon?
7-dimensional math, but no, this is...
Surprisingly, when you arrive at the bridge, the doors open at your approach. Some sparks
Before
shoot
they
out of them.
open, I'm going to kick on alertness.
Okay.
Just have it up.
Okay. And that doesn't cost anything? It just requires a roll if something would trigger it?
Nope. It straight up adds my dots in. Hold on. It adds my mode dots into my defense.
Beautiful. Handy.
Yeah.
Sparks shoot out of the doors as they fly open. And you immediately see the tech that you were speaking to, like kneeling in front of the unit that the pilot sort of gets into when they're about to kick off a jump. And you see the pilot is just laying inside of it. And it looks like they swallowed a brick of C4 and then the brick of C4 went off. Their ribs are just open. There's intestines sprayed out about 20 feet in front of them. Their face is gone. You see like a jawbone like swinging on a computer console across the room. And they're just laying there. And the tech is, and like half the bridge crew is unconscious and bleeding. The other half is like stumbling around, like holding their eye. And like you see the communications officer has a chunk of rebar like through them. And they're like trying to pull it out. Like,
yeah, I was with you. I didn't do this.
Go ahead, Judge.
I'm going to activate Biosense, but also immediately go to the officer, the communications officer, and see if I can help.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a, and your psi shock has worn off now as well, so you're not having any complications from that anymore.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead and give me a just a psi roll for the biosense, and then it'll be a medicine roll after that.
That's a psi one, and then just double check my.
Okay, and one of those was a 10, so you can roll that. You roll another
Okay.
D10 and add it because it does explode.
Is the Orgatech guy alive, or are they just kneeling in front of the pod?
The tech you were talking to, they're alive.
Yeah.
They're like,
Okay.
They appear to be having a nervous breakdown. Like they're clearly traumatized by this horror they've just witnessed. All right, so that becomes 4 successes on your biosense, right? No,
Wrong.
I'm sorry.
I'm fairly
Yes.
certain that the pilot's dead, but can you confirm that once I activate it?
Yeah, you have 4
Okay.
successes on your biosense. You sense all individual living beings within short range. So the living people in this room that you didn't enter with are the Orgatech tech that's kneeling, the person you're approaching who's got the rebar through them, and there are 2 other scions on the bridge who are still alive. The one who's holding their face is still alive, and there's a, what, as far as you know, like a logistics officer who is behind, like crouched behind their station, like huddled up, like in the duck and cover position. That doesn't appear to be wounded, as far as you can tell with biosense.
Okay.
You basically just tell if they're alive and whether or not they're, like you can also tell that the person with the rebar through them is knocking on heaven's door effectively at this point. So then you can also go ahead and give me a medicine roll. And,
I did. Did it go through?
Let's see. Was it just a straight number of dice?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Should I have used
Yeah.
it?
No, if you can click the medicine ability, it should roll, but we can use this. And then what attribute did you want to use it with?
I used intellect. I thought it was the most appropriate.
Okay. So I see a total of 1 successes on that, right? So yeah, they're fucked up. Like beyond.
Like, is there anything at all that can be done? That's what I'm looking for. Like, is there any chance?
If you can get that rebar out of them, without, like, if you just pull it out, they're going to bleed out. It's kind of what's keeping them alive right now. If you can get them to the med bay, or if there was a Vitakinetic here, they'd be fine.
I've heard Finn asking Sokka about teleportation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to look at Sokka and say, can you teleport them to the med bay? That's the only chance they have.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm going to use Mind Scan to try and detect any minds who are not immediately visible. Like if there is another mental presence in this area.
Yeah, that's straight up psi roll, yes?
Yeah, I think it's a psi roll for the basic power. So I will do that.
And you're using relay person, is that correct?
Oh, sorry.
Uh-oh.
But here's the thing, though, Kento.
I haven't been there, so I don't know where to
You don't know where to put them. You can teleport them to the last hospital you've been in.
I feel like that might be out of my range.
It's out of your range, yeah. Well, not necessarily. Oh, no, maximum range is 10 kilometers. You have to have a transmit person to be able to do it. Yeah, so you can't, like, pop them back to Earth. Like, go to the Bulac Clinic on Luna. If you had a little bit more transmission, you could. So, Finn, as you go to kick off that power, no luck on the... Oh, and you botched. Okay. Let's see. Before we get into what that does anyone want to let a momentum be spent to re-roll any of those failed dice?
Oh. Actually, I need to roll more dice because I need to roll one more die because it's always equal to the
To the mode?
Yeah. Which doesn't do anything, so it's fine.
All right. Do we want to spend momentum to re-roll one of those failed dice, or are we going to accept the botch?
I would like to spend one momentum to try and not botch. That'd be wonderful.
Is the group cool with that?
Yeah.
All right.
See
how this does. Son of a...
No joy. All right.
It doesn't happen. But hey, we get 2 momentum.
You do get 2 momentum. That's the good news. The bad news is you don't find what you would refer to conventionally as a mind. It's more a sense of malice that's permeating the vicinity. Almost as if the ship itself or its immediate surroundings hates you all and wants you to die.
It's in the goddamn walls, man.
Game over, man. That didn't take long.
We knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, you can't just have that in your back pocket. You got to pull it out.
The architect that you're sort of examining right now turns their head and looks over at you and says, I think someone tampered with the psionic navigation system. I felt a spike of corruption just before the jump.
There's something real bad here. Something fucking hates us.
Do we know where we are?
What's the physical condition of the bridge look like?
Go ahead and give me a technology roll, and then whatever attribute you'd like to apply to
that. Probably, just straight intellect plus technology. So,
all right.
4. Oh, dear God.
Yeah, that's 2 10s, so re-roll those suckers. Okay, so as you're looking this over, a couple things spring to mind. One, the damage that has been done to these consoles is probably only 20% related to the actual jump. As near as you can tell, someone probably ran some sort of sophisticated virus through the machine, probably triggered to go off when it detected the jump starting. And it caused several systems to overload. Some of the circuitry is fused. You figure if you had maybe 10 hours and the appropriate supplies, you could probably get vacuum speed back up so you could move around. And your actual astrogation systems are completely fried out as well at the moment. But if you look out the viewport, you can see the pillars of creation.
That's not where we're supposed to go.
That nebula, which is nowhere near where you're supposed to be.
But physically, like the bulkheads and you know the is this thing going to implode or explode into space?
No, as far as you can tell, the structural integrity is fine. It looks like, I'll give it to you with the number of successes you got. It looks to you like what happened as far as the physical damage that has happened is literally due to the tessor drive, like wincing in pain when the jump went off.
Okay.
So you've got this biomechanical drive that runs the entire length of the ship. It's several tons of biomass that just all kind of like cramped up when the jump started, and it literally bent like bulkheads and support beams.
Gotcha.
There is enough equipment working right now to tell you that the tessor is still alive.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, we are nowhere near where we're supposed to be. Whatever this was either brought us here specifically or just messed it up enough to throw its tracking out of light. We're lucky it didn't throw us into a star.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal a data pad or whatever I can get my hands on. Just one.
Sure. Yeah, you snag up a data pad.
Yeah. You want to roll for it or?
For like, are you trying to like palm it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a larceny.
Yeah, I know I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, me neither.
And I was gonna say everybody else can make an integrity cunning at like a complication of 3 because there's a whole lot going on that's more interesting than this data pad getting snagged. Or you can just elect to not roll. That's fine too. Yeah, you palm the data pad, no problem. Nobody seems to notice.
All right. I can teleport him to the med bay, but I need to go to the med bay first because I haven't attuned there. So if
I'll say
I understand that you don't 100% trust me yet because you haven't had a chance to verify my bona fides. So if you want to send one of your Centurions with me, let's go.
Absolutely do not care. I will hold out my hand and say I can show you the med bay.
Cool.
and I will basically form a quick telepathic link to you and give you an image of the med bay.
Oh, are you gonna? Do you have what is it? You have mind
Yeah, I've got
right?
I've got one dot of telepathy.
Okay,
So I will telepathically connect with Sokka and basically give them a image of the med bay that they can use to teleport things to.
That works.
All right. I had previously rolled this and got 2 successes. I can roll it again if you want.
Yeah. You look at the med bay and you start to share that sensation kind of all at once. And Sokka, I assume, now I'm calling you Sokka. I assume you're not going to look before or leap before you look. You're not going to just lock onto the psi coordinate and shoot him blind, right? So both of you, I'll go ahead and say, we'll see. The med bay is in tatters, and you see like where the various beds were, where it looks like semi-organic material has kind of ruptured up from the floor of the ship and made almost like cocoons over the existing beds. Now, no one was in them at the time. This looks almost preparatory, and you do not see any personnel in the med bay at the moment. Did they get pulled into the cocoons before they were formed? Did they leave? Are they running around the ship trying to save people? We don't know.
Shit.
Well, I'm not teleporting him there now.
That's a real good idea.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah.
The med bay's compromised.
Well, the whole ship is compromised. What do you mean compromised?
I mean specifically compromised. They turned the med bays into cocoons.
Cocoons?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like with moths?
Probably something a lot worse than a moth. Okay, I am. If none of you mind, I would like to link us psychically so that we can be a bit more coordinated in our efforts.
Does that let you know about like what I did when I was a kid and stuff like
Absolutely
that?
not. I am
Okay.
not. I am not a.
Sure.
I am not a telepath natively. I just have this one trick.
Right.
Sure.
Cool.
Does that mean Billy and Bobby aren't pointing their guns at me anymore?
We are definitely going to have to talk about your status later, but I have bigger fish to fry right now.
That's fair. I can do that.
The one who hasn't been throwing their guts up pretty much since the jump, we'll call him Private Johnson. The other one is also Private Johnson, no relation. But Private Johnson turns to you and says, sir, forgive me if I'm out of pocket here, but if this man is truly Quan Kinetic, he might be our best hope getting out of the situation alive, sir.
I am very well aware of that. Do I look stupid to you?
No, sir.
That's right, I don't.
Cheshire takes out their tools and is going to try and actually cut this rebar in a way so that the individual can be moved.
Sure.
Can be moved.
Go ahead and give me a. You can either go with medicine, and it's going to be a complication of 1 because you're not using medical tools to do it, or you can go with like a technology, but it will be a complication of 2 because he's not technology.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna use technology. My toolkit, you said gives me a general +2. Does that get rid of the complication?
Yeah, as long as you get a success, the enhancement applies, and you can use enhancement to buy off complications. Yes.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Wait. Now I'm paying attention to this thing going on over here with rebar going through a person.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. When I walked in this room, this person needs help.
Okay, true. But you're bringing out tools to cut this rebar out of the person, and no, hold on a second.
Actively doing it, yeah.
No, I got this. See, I'm looking over at Finn. See, I'm helping people. I'm not doing anything weird, and I will use my transmutation to basically take 2 ends of the rebar and just start pulling it apart, and it's putty, and take the two halves away.
Don't pull it out. No, don't do this.
Why?
Just stop. Just let me do this.
Okay. All right.
There's a reason I didn't teleport it out of him.
Oh.
Yeah, like you grab it and like start to twist, and he's like, "Whoa, no!" Go ahead.
Trying to help here. I didn't say I was a doctor.
Go ahead and make your technology roll.
Wow.
Okay. Cool.
I guess I get to reroll one, right?
Yep, you get to reroll that 10. You're very, very lucky you got.
Oh man.
All right, that's still enough successes to overcome the complication because you have the enhancement.
Okay.
So you cut. I mean, it's certainly not a pretty cut, and it is not comfortable for the patient. But you cut the ends off so that you can stand them up and not have to worry about them like disemboweling themselves on a door frame on the way to the. You know.
I'm like apologizing as I know I'm hurting this officer.
He's like
getting this done.
It's fine. I had worse on Esperanza. Gets up and like starts holding both sides.
Sorry, go ahead.
He just says, "We're under attack. You understand that, right?"
Oh yeah, but like that's something to worry about. But so is the rebar in your gut. So let's like find somebody who can help you with that.
You said, I heard you say something. Medbay. What's wrong with Medbay?
They've got moths? What?
Finn is kind of focusing a little bit, and then I rolled one success, but I went ahead and spent the psi powers to get everyone in all the PCs, one of the Legionnaire and the Orgatech guy into a telepathic network.
Okay.
So we can suddenly like share thoughts and images in each other's heads, and I'll just like focus and then just show everyone what we saw.
Okay.
This is quicker.
His eyes go wide and he goes, I probably shouldn't go to the med bay.
Well, no. I didn't rope him into it. I didn't go with the guy with the.
I thought that was the Orgatech guy you were referring to.
The Orgatech guy had the rebar in his chest?
Well,
I thought he was just kneeling in front of the pond.
They're both Orgatechs. That's why I got confused.
Well, then no. The one that doesn't have rebar in his chest.
Yeah. Yeah, you see this, like, everything is just covered in, like, this organic cocoon-like material in the med bay.
Oh. No, we got to go find someone who can help you. We're not taking you there.
He says, there's a Rex frigate attached to the starboard docking bay. Can we get to any of the docked ships outside?
Where is it?
I'd say that's a very good idea.
Starboard docking bay. So it'd be like on the other side of the ship from where you were at. Basically,
is it within 100 kilometers?
Not from the bridge, no. Okay. The bridge is like dead middle of the Leviathan.
How big are Leviathans?
They're like 100 kilometers. I'm sorry. Yes, absolutely. I was thinking meters. Sorry. Yeah, it's absolutely within 100 kilometers. Everything attached to the ship is.
Then I can focus my senses on it and get a connection to it. I'll go ahead and try and get a connection to that.
Sweet.
And hold on, let me. B. Oh, geez, what's going on?
Is the reroll not behaving?
No, my computer is a fun, wonderful thing that is doing fun, wonderful, awesome things. But yeah, I will do that. Actually, yeah. I'm supposed to be rolling way more dice.
You start
3 successes to lock in on that.
You start casting your senses out and immediately come to the disturbing realization that none of the docked exterior ships are still docked on the ship.
I don't hold that image back from everyone. Everyone gets to know that.
You get a nice like outside view of the Leviathan, the naked Leviathan with none of the frigates attached to it from outside the ship.
Right. We are well and truly fucked up.
Oh, we're not going there either, I tell the officer.
He says, all right, get me to a chair.
Yeah, I'll hop into a chair.
He says, you probably don't want to stand too close. He holds his fingers apart and you see plasma start jumping between his thumb and his forefinger.
Steps back.
And he just starts screaming as you see him start to like cauterize the wound on the outside. He like rips the arm off the chair. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's going to hurt for like ever.
Man, I was about to see if we had a Vitakinetic on deck, but you just went ahead and...
If we do, we can fix it, right? And he zaps himself in the back to cauterize that side. Falls on the floor, starts flopping around.
Yeah, I figure with that roll, I can also look to some, because I can tune in on specific aptitudes. Is a Vitakinetic on deck on the ship at all?
Yes.
Where are they?
Medbay.
Shit. Guys, you know what? I hate to sound like I'm like, part of the ISRA here, but the universe is guiding us to the med bay.
No, yes, we need to go save them. Let's go.
Wait a second. There's nothing in the med bay but cocoons, and the one Vitakinetic is in the med bay, right?
Probably in the cocoon.
Yeah, so let's go save them.
That's a...
All right. Okay.
How far away is the med bay from the bridge?
Oh, probably 60, 70 meters, maybe. Not far.
Oh.
As you're all getting ready to like go out the door to the med bay, unless you want to jump or jump someone ahead.
We keep the unit together. That's not a great idea.
Is there a med kit in here anywhere?
Yeah, there's like a first aid kit, like a standard issue med kit. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give our body piercing friend some stabilizers and tough, because drugs are what he needs right now.
Winners do drugs.
He like grabs your face like under the like, thank you. As you're like literally turning to walk out the doors, the communications like the ship comm goes off. Like the intercom inside the ship on the bridge. Hello?
Sound off. What's the problem?
This is Kochetsky. I'm pinned. I really need some help. Can anyone get down here?
What's your location, son?
I'm in the weapons bay. Weapons bay 4.
Are there hostiles?
I don't think so. Are we under attack?
Yeah, we are. We've got aberrants.
Oh God!
You stow that shit, Private.
Okay, I'm not even enlisted. I'm org attack.
You are now.
Can somebody
What does that corporate son of a bitch train you for?
You just go running out?
I do. I'm not.
Excellent. Anyone following Cheche or is...
Yeah, we're moving as a unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Cheche, you're up ahead of everybody else.
Oh, how far is the weapons bay?
Probably 150 meters. The other direction from the med bay, though.
I just kind of like look back at the three of them and run to the weapons bay.
All right. You get into the weapons bay. As soon as you step inside, you see it looks like a pair of legs are like sticking out from underneath a shelf. The shelf has various like basically bio batteries on it that are used to charge the bio lasers. But the shelf has been tipped over on top of the person. I would like each of you going in to give me just a flat integrity cunning check. And do any of you have like danger sense or anything along those lines?
I have always prepared, which I think is some kind of like that.
Always prepared means that you never fail an ambush check.
Right.
Which is not quite what's happening
okay.
at this point. So, at the very least.
Oh, good. I saw that 0 there and I got concerned.
Okay.
Double check.
And you said cunning plus integrity?
Yes, that's correct. Okay.
2.
Excellent. So
We're not doing well.
I can sense danger, but not the precise reasons for danger with my alertness ability.
okay, I mean, you're in danger. Molly, you in danger, girl. Like that's established at this point. But I was more to the point, seeing if like you had a specific thing that would benefit you in terms of immediate like threat. Okay, so as you run in, you see that this has been tipped over on top of this poor fellow. The legs are sticking out. With your successes, Finn and Grunge, it looks to the two of you like this wasn't a sudden, like this doesn't look like it was thrown over. This looks like it was pulled down. Stuff is not thrown nearly far enough.
All the stuff that was on the shelf just kind of fell straight down instead of all across the room because the whole shelf got hit.
Right. Is this an insight that you would like to share over your psychic connection, as I would presume that Checha and Kento are running up to this injured person, right?
Yeah. Hold back.
It's not what it seems.
Do you listen or continue pressing forward? Checha and Kento.
I would like to manipulate my flesh and bones to build like a layer of like armored plates.
Oh, absolutely. And that's through transformation?
Transmogrify.
Transmogrify.
I think is what it's called.
Yes. I love it. I love it so much. Gross manipulation, right? Is the power?
Yes, gross manipulation.
Okay. So you spend successes. You don't even need to actually spend psi to activate it. So you would just make a straight up psi roll.
I also like always have. I don't know if this matters, but I'm just mentioning it in case it does. I always have 2 enhancement using this specific power, or using all of Transmogrify.
Right, because you've got the favored mode.
Yes.
All right, excellent. So yeah, go ahead and make a psi roll.
It's psi plus Transmogrify, right? Is that correct?
I believe your activation rolls are just psi.
Just psi?
But
Okay,
you get an enhancement when you're using gross manipulation. It's your mode dots plus successes in tags you can use to create the armors and weapons. So even if you don't get any successes activating it, you get the mode dots automatically.
All right.
I could be wrong on that. So if I am wrong, please someone correct me on it. But I believe the case.
I'm going to trust you.
So you got 2 successes plus your transmogrify, which is a 3.
Yes.
So that's 5 successes plus your +2 for favored mode. So that's 7 successes worth of armor tags you can buy. So if you're just doing it to straight armor yourself, like you could spend 3 of those for the complete tag. So it's every type, and you could buy the hard tag and 2 soft tags. So the difficulty to damage you would go up by 2. You get an extra health level, and it goes against all types of damage that's not environmental.
That sounds great. Let's do it that way.
Rock and roll. Okay. So you come running up and are you going to allow this to be visible, or is this?
Yeah, I don't care. Like, right. just like plates and stuff, like bloody plates are coming out of my skin and stuff. Like this, and like tortoising around me.
So like this, like almost like Dracula, this like Francis Ford Coppola, this Dracula, like the Cell kind of like armor, like coming up from under your skin as you're approaching. Dope. I love it. Are you doing anything on the approach, Kento? Are you stopping it when you feel this sort of sensation in your mind, or are you continuing to
nothing?
Okay. Excellent. So you get right up to the rack, and you see this dude just laying there. You don't immediately see any signs of physical distress on this fellow. But they are laying under it, and it doesn't look like they're exactly pinned.
They're not stuck?
No. And
what's the problem?
They look up at you and smile and say, "The other is coming." And we will have an initiative roll as soon as we get back from this bio break that we're going to do. So let's go ahead and take 5. Everybody just take a quick breather. If you want to get up, get a drink, hit the bathroom, anything like that. Those of you who are watching at home, blink and you'll miss it. We'll be back momentarily. Excellent. Welcome back. Thank you so much for hanging out. Those of you who are at home, you just literally blinked and then we were back. It's the magic of editing. So where was that? Oh, right. We should roll initiative. There should be an initiative button on your sheet. So excellent. All right. So I'm missing 1 initiative. Did one person not roll? We got Finn's, we got Kento's, we got Patrick's. I do not have Chet's.
I'll try and click it again and see what happens.
I don't think it went through. It might roll twice on you. Do you have a little like yellow like caution sign on your chat?
No. Wait, let me check my chat. Hold on. I was looking at my sheet on my chat. I don't.
All right. Try clicking it one more time, see if it goes through. There we go.
Yeah. So what I did different was I was there's like a thing on my sheet that says if I click here, it sends it to the chat. That was not working. But when I clicked the button in the chat, it worked.
Weird. Okay. I wonder if that's because you have your sheet popped out, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, I do have popped out. So if that makes a difference, then yeah.
Might be. I'll do some investigation.
I have mine popped out and sent to chat.
Yeah, it worked just fine.
Although I would love to re-roll that.
So
since we're on initiative, I do have hair trigger reflexes, which gives me 1 enhancement when rolling initiative.
So that increases your successes to 3, which isn't quite enough to beat our friend here, unfortunately. So he had made his smart remark, and as he looks at you, you see his eyes like blacken with like this oily film that covers them. And then a purplish glow emits from the eyes straight forward toward you as he lets go a blast of pure corruption radiation toward you.
I don't like that. Not a fan.
So you have your armor. You have the option of either relying on just your basic defense, which allows you to roll one of your resilience attributes, whichever is most appropriate for the situation. In this case, probably stamina. Or you can use your action to take a defensive action, in which case you can roll double that resilience attribute. What would you prefer to do?
Why would I not want to roll double?
Because that uses then you won't be able to act this round.
Oh,
Because you're basically going full defense. I will remind you that you don't know what this blast is or does. Just
yeah,
FYI.
no, I think I'll roll double.
All right. So you're going to kind of try to dive out of the way. What resilience attribute would you like to rely on?
Well, you said stamina, right?
Stamina probably makes the most sense, but I mean, it could be like composure to keep your shit together while this thing is flying at your face. I mean, you can make a discussion, a decision based on your character's sort of strengths.
I think I'll do stamina.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your stamina twice, and then you'd add successes to your defense score, which starts at 1.
Did that work?
It did go through once. Yep.
Okay. I was just making sure because the initiative didn't go through. Okay.
Yeah, it did go through. I don't know why
I'll
initiative was misbehaving. All right. So unfortunately, you have botched this roll.
Oh, great.
So fortunately, there's not really much that can do except give you extra momentum. So now your momentum score is at a 7.
Hooray.
You got that going for you. Your soft armor was at 2 plus whatever soft armor you normally have.
The answer to that is, I have it written down. 2. So 4.
Okay. Excellent. So he would have to get 5 successes in order to do the inflict damage stunt upon you. However, he got 3 successes on his die roll. Plus it's a quality 2 blast, so that brings it up to 5 successes. So that's enough to inflict damage. Plus it is brutal, which reduces the difficulty by 1, and destructive, which reduces the difficulty by 2 more. So he has 2 successes or you have 2 resistance left. Or rather, he has 2 successes to hit you with. So he can do the inflict injury stunt upon you, which causes you to mark your bashing.
Okay.
Or your bruised condition, I'm sorry. So there's no complication associated with that. But this blast also has the pushing power. So as he hits you with this raw radiation in the face, not only does it like cook the outside flesh off of the plates that you created, but like you feel the bone plates crack at the pressure when this blast hits you. And it throws you back, like you fly up into the ceiling and like drop prone onto the floor off of the force of this blast. And he sort of rolls up onto his feet and starts like chittering. That brings us to the player characters. Now, the way initiative generally works is once the dice have been rolled, it just goes down into ticks, into slots. You can swap slots freely among your side if you so choose. Now, the first person that's on the initiative order is Grunge. Do you want to swap that out to another player, or do you want to take your action, Grunge?
I will go ahead and take my action. That blast is scary. So I'm going to use my resist power.
And that's under, is that the basic for quantokinesis?
That's fundamentals 1.
Okay.
Fundamentals 1. So I'm going to roll my psi, and my successes imposes a difficulty onto that blast.
Okay. And is that only when it's targeting you, or is that when it's targeting anyone?
Because it's not an area effect, it would only work against or work for me.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and give me your psi roll, please.
Which would be 4 because I've only got 1 in that.
Oh, it's just straight. It's just straight psi, right? Or for activation roll?
Oh, is it normally just psi?
I believe you only add your mode if it specifically says so in the mode power.
Oh, okay. All right, then here we go. Why did it add 1?
Oh, it is. I'm sorry. I am wrong. It is psi plus your the dots you have in the mode you are using.
Oh, okay. All right.
My bad.
No, that's all right.
I rolled knowledge, wrong edition. Continue.
Roll that.
I've got 1 with an exploding die, and nothing from that.
All right, and
So
then you also do get to roll your mode.
Right, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, because the first roll rolled 4 dice.
Okay, gotcha. All right, excellent. So that's still that increases his difficulty by 1 to damage you, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. That brings us the next person in the initiative order is Finn. Finn, would you like to go now, or would you like to pass that off to one of the other characters that's present?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna shoot the son of a bitch.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'll pull out my flechette carbine and fill it full of little tiny darts.
Beautiful.
Hold on. So that's an aim roll.
Yep. And what would you like to rely on for your?
I would love to do cunning because I'm
quick thinking. Yeah.
Quick thinking. Yeah.
I'll allow it.
All right. So there's that. And there's that.
Excellent. You fire, and
I've got a 4 enhancement for the flechette carbine, so it's a total of 6 successes.
Beautiful. His defense is 3, so that gives you 3 successes net. So you can purchase the inflict injury stunt.
Okay.
Do you have any edges like that would allow you extra?
No, but I'll spend those 2 extra successes to use the pin down stunt, which basically gives him a complication for attacking. That if he doesn't buy that off, he just takes another injury condition.
Excellent. So yeah, you sort of riddle him with flechettes and like stick a couple of pieces of his leg to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And he like looks down and pulls at it and looks up at you and chitters some more.
And I'll just say like, concentrate fire.
That brings us to Kento's initiative. Kento, would you like to go, or would you like to pass the? Well, actually, you're going to have to go either way because Checha's acted for the turn. But so, what would you like to do?
Kind of want to just teleport him.
I believe in you.
You can certainly give it a shot. The only places that you would be able to send him right now would be the bridge, the inside of that cargo container you arrived in. Or the medical bay.
Can they send them like within their range as well?
I mean, you can send him to any place you can perceive. Yeah. Or you could just pop him like relationally. So if you wanted to just teleport him like maximum range straight, if you wanted to do the Opeo death drop, except he wouldn't drop. You can no ticket him if you want to, I suppose. That is a possibility.
You know what? I am instead going to do something more creative because maybe we want to knock this guy out and interrogate.
That's fair.
So I'm going to teleport whatever the hell size 0 worth of armor panels from my crate are onto his head.
Excellent. Like, so just like right above him. So clunk. I love it. So we'll treat that as like a straight up, I guess we'll use your Psi plus mode. Thank you for making me look that up, for getting me to look that up. I appreciate it. And then we'll treat it as a ranged attack, right? Sound about right?
I clicked you. Why are you not? No. Well, whatever.
You got a roller not behaving?
Aw.
The good news is you do pull one armor panel off and it appears like directly above his head, like pointed down. Like,
Yeah.
Should be.
So sorry, that was the Psi plus mode. And so then ranged attack, aim plus cunning.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You drop it down and he like moves his shoulder and like checks it on the way down. It bounces off harmlessly, doesn't do any damage to him. His defense is 3. That brings us to Chech's turn. Now, Chech has already acted, but the power that you were shot with turns out is incendiary, as you feel like radiation burns starting to work beneath your skin. So if you could, please just give me like a straight up stamina roll. You would
Just
have,
stamina, okay.
Yeah. You would have an enhancement equal to...
I have hardy. Does that matter?
Yes. Your hardy is... let me just double check that, because I think that gives you... Also remember that your bruised... now that I think about it, your bruised condition shouldn't be marked yet because you got an extra health level from... unless you tracked that extra health level on your sheet. Your bruised condition wouldn't be marked yet because you had an extra health level from the armor. I'm just looking up hardy real quick. So at hardy 3, you can resist and overcome diseases, intoxicants, poisons, and even radiation better than most people, gaining enhancement equal to your dots in this edge. So when you make your stamina roll to resist the burning from on the face part, you have an enhancement of 3.
Okay.
All right, so that's 4 successes, so that's sufficient to not take additional damage. It stings, but it doesn't burn you anymore, and it does.
No, it sucks. Cheche's like cursing like their brains out in Spanish right now.
Excellent. And then that brings us to our pop-up targets that you've brought along with you. You do have you have a Legionnaire and an Orgitech with you. Is there anything particular the group would like them to do, or which can be up to and include hide or help me, and then they can just offer you. If you want them to hide, they'll leave combat. If you want them to help you, they can offer enhancement to the next people who act, an enhancement of 1 to the next person who acts.
Well, I ordered the Legionnaire to enhance to sustain fire. So
okay, so they will offer enhancement to the next die roll that one of you makes. An enhancement of 1. Anything for the Orgitech?
I mean, I would give the same order to him, but anyone else wants to do it.
Yeah, they can take the second person will also then get an enhancement. All right, so it returns back to our good friend Kucheski. And Kucheski says, "You're all doomed. It's been planned. His coming is foretold." And he fires another blast out of his face. This time, I think he's going to go ahead and I think he's going to target the person that shot him.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let me roll my defense.
He's unhappy about that. Are you using full defense or just the
No,
reflexive?
I'm going to use I'm going to do reflexive.
Okay.
So I'm trying my best to stay calm and collected. So I'd like to do my composure.
You may do so. Nice. Not bad. Why did I roll that? Wrong die.
No.
Let's try this one instead.
So with a combination of all my my various abilities right now, I have a defense of 9.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's real good.
He has a total of 5 to hit you, so that does not hit. You're basically able to, because you see it coming effectively through the totality, you like just move to the side and the blast hits the wall behind you.
Now, I assume he'd like to buy off the complication I gave him to not take an additional bit of damage.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, no.
Or can he?
No, he's not that. He's not that cogent.
Okay, then he takes another damage.
He's a little too far gone for that.
Awesome.
But what he can do, actually. Oh, no, that's not. Yeah, no, he just takes the damage. Okay. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Next up is Grunge, unless you want to pass it along, Grunge.
No, I'm going to basically, from behind everybody, just roll on up and shoot with my laser gauntlet.
Excellent. You get a +1 enhancement as the org attack is going to use photokinesis to enhance that laser's intensity.
All right. So that will be dexterity. And remind me the pistol. No, it's not a pistol. Never mind.
It'd be aim, right?
Yeah. So dexterity.
Okay, so it's still 3, and then what's the enhancement on the gauntlet?
All right. 1 enhancement from the gauntlet. And then I've got 1 enhancement for fast draw.
Okay. Excellent. So that's enough to purchase the inflict injury stunt?
Yes.
And then you have 1 extra success going on if you'd like to buy another stunt. I'm telling you what you could get with 1 success. You get it increases complication.
Yeah, never not pinned down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now he's looking at a complication of 3. Right? 2
I mean, if he didn't buy it off, then it just goes away. Like either way, it resolves.
Yeah, so it's just complication 1 then.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. And that's if he makes a aggressive.
If he makes an attack, whenever he makes his attack, it basically he buys it off or takes the damage, or then it just goes away.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right,
Yep.
Finn, that comes to you then. What would you like to do?
I'm going to continue to shoot him.
Continue firing. I've heard plans.
Since I am working in conjunction with a fellow Legionnaire this time, will my specialty of tactics apply?
I'll allow it. Why
Okay.
not? The tactics is not in aim, I assume, correct?
No, it is in command.
All right, very good. Excellent. And then cunning, so that's 4. That is
Plus 4 from my gun, 1 from the Legionnaire, and 1 from my specialty.
right. So that's enough to. So that'll be.
So that's 10.
10. Okay. So after applying his defense, which is 3, that's 7. So that's enough to buy inflict, critical, and still have stunts left over if you needed them. What is your ultimate aim with this attack? What would you like to try to do?
Ultimately, I would like. I mean, obviously, I'd like to bring the target down. If
how down do you want to bring this target?
Combat intelligence is valuable. I do not want to kill the target, but I do want to incapacitate the target with prejudice.
All right. So the Legionnaire that you're coordinating with,
Mm-hmm.
grabs the dude's face with telekinesis and like tilts it upward, and you just rain flechettes up through his jaw, through his eyeballs, and out the top of his face. He falls over, deeply physically traumatized, utterly unconscious, but at the moment, still breathing.
Restraints. I'll just like
The organ tech looks over at you like, for real, dude?
Did I stutter?
No, sir.
I'll look over to Grunge. What can you do?
Blast a hole through his head. But aside from that, shoot, I can see what he's got going on.
Check it out.
All right.
I'll look to Cheche and Sokka, say, we should keep alert. While he's checking this thing out, maybe you should, if y'all want to patrol, keep an eye on the perimeter. You're not my chain of command, but that's my suggestion.
The Legionnaire that's with you says, sir, if I may.
Go ahead.
I really don't think that we should split this unit up at all, sir.
Fair enough. Let's just keep your eyes out.
So you're looking at the body, Grunge, right?
Yeah.
Kento or Checha, do you have any other actions you would like to do while he's investigating the body?
I would also like to check Kuchetski and specifically looking for identification.
Okay. And then how about you, Checha?
I'll get up off the ground and like dust myself off like everything's fine.
Right on.
Took it like a champ.
I'll keep an eye out like at the door of this place that we're in, like down the hall, I guess. Like I'm not gonna actually go on patrol, but just like make sure like nothing comes up from behind.
Kind of put yourself on Overwatch effectively. All right.
Yeah, essentially.
All right. So let's get a
and while I'm also, once I've distributed orders, I'm gonna like focus and I'm going to look for the biggest source of corruption I can find.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing.
Roll your psi plus mode. For searching the body, let's do a larceny or integrity. I would assume larceny would be the way you'd want to go with that.
Definitely larceny.
Plus whatever ability or attribute score you feel you should rely on.
Probably cunning.
And then as far as the looking him over, are you looking him over with subquantum sense, or are you looking him over with
subquantum sense?
All right, so let's get that psi mode roll. All right, so we got no joy on the larceny or the cunning. So, yeah, no, you got a success. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm lying and not reading very well. As you're going through his pockets, you pull out what you at first blush believe to be a mini comp until it lets its legs out and starts crawling up your arm.
Which one of us is this happening to?
That's you, as you're searching his body, as you botch that roll to search his body.
It's a good botch.
And
I mean, not for me, but you know.
It's hard for you to do an accurate count due to the pants shitting terror you're experiencing, but you're pretty sure it's got like 9 tentacles and several eyes, that none of which seem to be where you would expect an eye to be on a creature, as it's just kind of crawling up your arm, making the same chittering noise that he was making. What would you like to do in response to that?
Now, I'm gonna AO death drop and get this thing to fuck off. Fucking psychic yeet.
All right, so you go ahead and roll your Psi plus mode, please.
Psychic yeet. I love it.
Excellent. And then you also get to reroll that 10.
Oh, good. Well.
All right, so you go to chuck this thing out, and you're able to bamf it off of you, but not out of the ship. So it hits the ceiling and then just takes off scooting. 1 second. We'll get to where that's going in a second. So on the roll for the searching the body in terms of like with subquantum sense.
Yeah, I got nothing.
No joy. I mean, you can see like the way that those flechettes ripped the face open. There's bloody. It's like a bloody mass right there. He's barely breathing. The Orgatech walks over and like sticks a fountain pen in his throat so that he doesn't choke on his own blood. But there's like exposed brain mass. And while you don't sense anything, it's hard to read. It's not that you don't sense anything. It's that you're inside of a giant psionic emitter that's running through with corruption. And it's hard to pick out exactly what's going on, right? But you do see a very clear, like, black mass of, like, tentacles in the front of his brain that's, like, kind of thing going on.
Did it look anything like that thing that just...
And family resemblance, maybe, like they might be cousins, but you know, it's this looks like a mass that has grown forth from the brain from corruption, as opposed to like a parasitic creature. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And with your attunement roll,
I got a total of 5 with enhancement from favored mode.
All right, so you kick off that attunement roll, and you're looking for the biggest source of corruption?
Yeah, I want to know where the big bad is.
As near as you can tell, the corruption is rapidly spreading through the Tesser.
Shit.
So where before was just like little bits were injected in it, it seems to be infecting the ship. By doing some quick math and relying on your ability to read into the totality and see the future and all that good jazz, you figure you have about 8 hours where the Tesser could reasonably be saved.
Okay.
After that, it's going to be too far gone. It's going to die from the corruption.
All right.
And Checha, you've been on watch, right? Like you're looking.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you be the first person to actually react to this thing that has now, it like teleported onto the ceiling, didn't miss a beat, and just started scooting toward the door that you're by.
Well, I don't know how fast I can do this. So like, let me know, like, can I like do an attack and a psionic roll at the same turn or no?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
especially if that psionic roll is a part of the... So like if you wanted to turn your arm into a sword and punch the thing?
Yeah, or
absolutely.
maybe in this case, since it's like insect-like, I'm thinking something more broad. So like maybe like I guess like stretch my hand out into like a big flat fan and just like try and like
I love it.
Squish it.
Yeah, so you'd make the activation roll first, and then you would make your close combat roll to hit it.
Okay. And you said, so earlier when I was doing my armor roll, you said it doesn't include the transmog, but then you said it does.
I was wrong, yeah.
Okay.
So you do also add your transmog to that roll. And you still get, like, even if you get 0 successes on that, you still get tags based on your transmog rating.
Right. And yeah, okay. So much stuff open. I'm sorry. I have to
No
make sure I
worries.
open the right thing.
There's a lot to juggle. No worries.
All right, there.
Okay.
Oh, reroll at 10.
Yeah. 4. Nice. So you got 4 successes. +2 for your favorite mode. So that's 6 successes. And your transmog's at 3, right? So that's 9 weapon tags you can put on this arm fan blade that you're making. You can
fly swatter.
Right. You can add brutal, which reduces the difficulty to do damage. You can add entangle or grapple, which do kind of what they say. You could blow 3 of those onto quality if you wanted to give you enhancement with the hit. And you can also add weighted, which makes it even cheaper to do damage.
I have 9. Is that what we said?
9. Yeah.
Okay.
The total tags and the numbers for them are on page 214 of the Trinity Continuum Æon book. So you can,
Æon book? Okay.
Yep. Page 214. So, and if they have the number next to them, that's how many of those tags it eats to add that tag to it.
Okay, let's see.
And remember too, this hangs out. I think for standard duration, right? So mode dots times duration, right? So
I think reach would be appropriate for what I'm doing too, because I'm like,
right.
So I think that I'll probably go with, let me see. Sorry about my dog.
Oh, no worries.
Quality 3, reach, brutal and deadly, and then I guess entangle and grapple.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
There we go.
So, yep. All right. So go ahead. Now you'd make a close combat roll plus whatever attribute you feel would be best for that. Generally speaking, this would be like might, but you can rely on something else if you have something else in mind.
So I could do might, but I was thinking dex because of my whole just like kind of like whipping it out like that.
Yeah, totally fine. Absolutely.
Also, I have a specialty in literally like my body weapons.
Okay. Is that in close combat or is that a different skill?
It's in close combat.
Okay, so the way specialties work is they're cross.
Okay.
They're cross-pollinated. So, like for example, if you were trying to create body weapons but be sneaky about it, so like they looked like normal, but they're ready to go, and you had to make a larceny roll to hide your body weapons, you would get a bonus to that, right? Okay. Or if you're trying to like diagnose somebody else that was killed with biokinesis, you could be like, oh, they made this weapon with their body. I'm going to add that specialty to my, enigmas roll to figure out clues about this, stuff like that. So it doesn't actually add to the attack; it adds to other things that are related to it. Make sense?
Okay, sure. Let me roll it then.
So yeah, you'd have Dex close combat, and then you'd have 3 enhancement because of the quality.
I don't roll that though.
Right. No, the enhancement is automatic as long as you get 1 success.
Okay.
Okay, so one success, but you got the 1 material, so that's enough. Right. So that kicks off the enhancement. So that's 3. You reach up and this thing just splatters on the ceiling. It kicks out gore for about a foot past the outer rim of the of the thing you made.
Nice. And I like lower my like fan blade hand thing to kind of like, what is this?
And there's like steam coming off of it where it's gross. It smells like like rotten food inside of an open septic tank on the hottest day of August.
So my limb is like super extended right now because the way I built this with a reach, right? So I just kind of like hold it as far away from my face as possible.
Sort of like smeared on a far wall.
All right, remember that. Don't squash them.
Well, I mean, hopefully no one. Yeah, okay. Don't squash them. Sure. Let them live. Let them live.
Oh, no. Fry them
no.
or blow them up or something. Just don't squash them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grun, did you pick up anything else? Did you figure anything else about this guy?
No, I couldn't. I mean, I think it's because of this brain hugging thing that's in the way.
Probably a mutant. As best as I can tell, the aberrant or whatever is infecting the ship. It's in the ship itself. We have about 8 hours. We need to find a way to burn it out. We need to find its infection point, I guess. I mean, our the only other lead we have is Medbay, which we definitely need to check out.
Yeah.
The Orgatech says, wait, so you're telling me the tester's infected with corruption?
Yeah. I didn't think that was possible. I thought these two things were too psionically active.
I would think so. If a source of corruption that was brought on board was strong enough to overcome the amount of just raw subquantum energy that's flying around inside that thing. I'm curious as to how none of us noticed it, and B,
It's horrifying.
The only thing that I can think of to do off the top of my head is to get in escape pods and hope someone finds us.
We cannot let the Aberrants take this ship.
Let's go squash them.
Plus, we have people to rescue in Medbay.
And then the Orgatech says, "Oh shit!
What?
The Chin ambassador.
Add another to the rescue list.
They are sensitive to corruption.
Sensitive how?
Like they might be poisoned right now. We are going to have a fucking interstellar incident on this ship."
You know what? I'm going to leave diplomacy to the ministry or whoever else is handling that. Right now, we have an operational problem to solve. We have people to rescue. We hit the med bay. Then we look for the kin.
The Orgatech reaches into his pants pocket and pulls out like a wet nap. And hands it to Judge.
I didn't know if we needed to keep this for like research purposes, right?
Yeah. Do we need to study that?
I'm not. Do we need to keep this thing?
Like just keep the wet nap.
Okay.
To me.
Do you think we can? Is there any possibility of extracting information from it?
If he's still alive and the Chin are still alive, then we can theoretically they can interrogate him.
Can't you mentally blink or do something with this thing and see what mind it has left? And
I'll use the basic mind speak to just like try and talk to its head is in his mind, but I can't really dig into his mind.
Oh.
I mean, you can spark a conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling he won't be too talkative. Plus, he's unconscious. But
there'll be a lot of
yeah.
Where's my face? That's just over and over again.
Yeah, pretty much what I thought. Like, I don't think we're going to get anything useful out of him. and I'll pull out my sidearm and put a bullet in his head.
Okay.
That works.
What if there was a cure for that?
Yeah, I don't think there's a way.
Why? How, you don't know.
He was corrupted.
So you're saying there's absolutely no coming back from that. So don't even bother trying to save the ship. Like you're more willing to save the ship than this person?
I don't think he was a person anymore.
That was a human being.
It was at one point.
That was a human being.
Not anymore.
The
you might not realize like the depth of the enemy that we face here.
Don't
They
talk
can
to me
take a
like I'm an
person-
idiot. That was a human being.
The other Legionnaire says, if we had a quantikinetic and a vitakinetic, we could maybe clean some of the corruption out of somebody that far gone. I don't know that we can do anything about the ship. And I don't know that trying to save them right now is our best tactical choice.
Yeah, we've got that vitakinetic that.
The Orgitech says, no, I'm with Checha. This is fucked up.
Well, we can sit around debating it all day, or we can do something.
There's no
about it.
reason to debate it because you just shot this guy in the head. But that was a human being.
All right,
It was
but
not
how many of the pods, how many cocoons are in medical bay that we saw?
Half dozen.
Yeah, we can focus on saving those half dozen, which one of them might be the vitakinetic that somebody mentioned earlier, looking at the two soldiers.
You, as a quantikinetic, are almost 100% sure that if the vitakinetic was somehow incapacitated and is being subjected to corruption, chances are very, very good that they can hold that off for a very long time. That won't. Their psionics will prevent that from getting into them.
And I'll share that opinion, because I think if they are one of these cocoons, they're fighting this off better than some of the other whoever's in the cocoons. So let's go find that vitakinetic and save even more people.
Sounds good to me.
Might be able to help extract whatever that is. It's not going to feel good, but
Do you have
probably get it out.
just like a transmission? I was just asking if I was asking Kentoni selective transmission.
I was going to use Skyne with a window and then jam his head through it.
That's one way to do it.
Because I can exclude alien life.
Yeah.
By the way, seeing alien shit was one of my aspirations. So,
which reminds me, we are about at the end of the stream. So, you were all getting ready to head to the med bay.
Mhm.
That's where we'll call things for this week. Let's do some post-game bookkeeping. Any questions, comments, complaints, concerns? James, you okay?
Yeah, no, great.
Yeah.
Just checking in.
Yeah, no,
I thought so, but you know.
But before we leave, I'm trying to get Cheche. Did I say that? Cheche?
You'll get it
Cheche.
eventually. Cheche.
It's okay.
Trying to get him,
Hib is fine. I think probably presenting a little more masculine at the moment. So,
yeah, trying to win you over by pointing at what's left of whatever burned your face off. And like, that's not human anymore. There are human bits. It's not human anymore. You don't have to worry about this.
do you want to like actually do like a social roll to win me over there?
I can try.
If you want
I'll
to try
do very-
making like that would be either probably persuasion would be my guess, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
and phew. Okay.
What attribute would you like to lean on?
Well, I'm not trying to be deceptive or anything like that. It's just, trying to keep everyone calm and trying to just, all right, let's go ahead and be together and move on together. So it would be composure, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
That works.
Which is still not my forte. So let's give it a shot. Oh, hey, one success.
It's not bad. It's 2 successes. Would you like to try to resist this based on like your resolve, maybe? Or do you want to relent to the roll since he got the successes?
Relenting.
Okay.
With like, it's not, so to be clear, it's not like he's like, Cheche's not going to like stop working with everyone because they're mad about this. They're still mad.
Right. Right. But that's enough to.
I'm not convinced that about the whole like, oh, they're not human anymore, so don't worry about it. But I do see what Grunge is trying to do, and I'm like, that makes sense. I understand that. We're gonna move on, but also like, fuck that.
Can I say that I am loving all of the dynamics that are happening in this entire table? So yeah, we'll say we'll open with you heading to the medical bay next session.
Sounds good.
Let's go over real quick if you all have a few more moments to stick around. Let's go over real quick aspirations, experience points. Everybody likes the experience points, right? Did any of you complete any short-term aspirations? As far as, or do you have a case to make for, I think I might have. Somebody said they see some alien shit, right?
Yeah. Something alien was one of my things.
What I would say is I probably wouldn't have allowed that except for the thing that just crawled up you.
Yeah, like up until that happened, I'm like, this isn't alien. It's just like an aberrant or something. And then,
Yeah, one of mine is combat an aberrant. I don't know if this counts as far as what he's considered. Like, if this is just sub aberrant mutant, I don't think that really like clocks in his like hierarchy of threats.
So, full disclosure, that was a sub aberrant mutant.
Yeah, no,
so you don't feel that that's a high enough thing for you to have met that aspiration.
Not tall enough. He's probably traded fire with mutants before. He wants to fight a real one.
Okay. Any other short terms that you may have?
Nope.
How about for Cheches?
One of mine, I feel like depends on other people's opinions. So it's it's to be seen for behaving heroically. And I kind of think that depends on what other people think, because like this guy might still die that we like the communications officer despite actions, and then obviously I couldn't save this human who I was really mad about getting killed.
Sure, but like heroism isn't necessarily succeeding. I mean, I would level the argument that you have placed human life at high value. You've rushed into situations that may or may not have been dangerous with the intent of helping others, right? So, I mean, I would argue that that's heroic behavior, but I mean, it's ultimately up to you and the group to determine if you feel that passes muster. I think that it does.
I think it was, but like the kind of my specific wording was like, do other people see it that way? Like, cause it's more about like, is Cheche acting in a way where they're being perceived as heroic?
Sure.
So that's why I'm like,
let's go around the table. What would you say was Grunge's perception of that?
Grunge's perception of Cheche?
Yeah, specifically in regards to were those actions, what would count as heroism?
That little crawly thing going across the ceiling could have really complicated everything. So Cheche really saved our butts when it came to stopping that thing. Because who knows what it could have gone and you know where it could have gone, who it could have face hugged next, or whatever it does.
Well, and more to the point, you still don't know what it was. So yeah. I mean, like, you know, it was bad. Like, so that's a fair assessment. What about Kento's perspective?
I mean, Cheche like literally turned into a meat shield and took a big chunk of radiation to the face. So like that's the bar that I need.
That's fair. And Finn.
I would definitely say that Cheche definitely acted the hero, with the caveat that as a soldier I don't have time for heroes.
Sure, it's absolutely 100% valid to be like, yeah, that's sweet. You're in my way tactically. You know, the best I can rely on to you is to cause a very loud distraction.
So that was a chaos agent. I'm glad to cause a loud distraction if you need me to.
Yeah, no room for heroes in this unit.
100% fair. I would say the aspiration has been achieved. Awesome. And what about your other short-term aspiration?
My other one is I don't think I did this one. My other one was to cause some necessary chaos.
Yeah, I don't think yet.
No.
And for Grunge, what were the short terms?
The first one was establish contact with his patron.
Which you have not done that.
Not done that yet. And I actually wasn't even thinking about earlier, which I should have probably. My other one really doesn't make sense now in the context of things. So how does that work regarding changing aspirations?
So that's the next step. Once we hand out experience points, then you have the option of doing tweaks, which you can either do now or you can do at the start of the next session. And tweaks involve anytime at the start of any session, you can change a short-term aspiration. You may also move one dot either from one attribute to another attribute or from one skill to another skill. So if you're looking through your character and you're like, you know what, it really would make more sense for me to have a higher larceny. Let me move one dot from, empathy, which I'm not using, to larceny. The only caveat with that is if you move a dot, you have to make sure you do a roll sometime during that session where it uses that new dot. You follow what I'm saying? Yep. So you can always swap out one short-term aspiration, no questions asked. And then if you resolve one, you're expected to have a new one for the next session. So you could theoretically be in a situation where you're replacing two of them, even if you only resolve one.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So we have two that have resolved, two that have not. So those of you who did resolve get one experience point. We do not get the group roll for everyone experiencing. No one resolved the long-term aspiration yet. Did you spend half the available momentum in a single scene? I don't believe you did at this point. And you have not yet reached a story milestone, I wouldn't say either. So yeah, it's the 2 XP goes out to the two folks who resolve their short terms. And then you would purchase the experience charts in the Æon book. I have to look and see exactly what page it's on. But while I'm looking that up,
39 in the core.
Right, and then there's a separate one, I believe, for like if you wanted to raise psi stuff. Not that anyone has enough XP to do that yet, but so on and so forth. So yeah, any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns?
Yep, going great.
It was
I love it.
I loved seeing that. I love the dynamic between the group is awesome, and I hope that we have at least so far hit the high bar that you all set for me in terms of wanting like a Event Horizon horror.
Yep.
What the fuck is that kind of feel to it?
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Well, good. Excellent. Thank you so much for saying so. I'm glad that you're enjoying yourselves, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes next session. So having said that, let's go ahead and do our outros. We'll have you once again tell us who you are, what you do, who you've been playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and if there's anything that you would like to promote or somewhere you would like people to just find you online, feel free to share that. Let's kick things off this go around with Hiromi. Please, if you could, give us all of your pertinent details and then tell us who's going next.
Sure. I'm Hiromi, they, them. I'm playing Kento, who is currently masquerading as Saka, because if you surprise a grifter, you're gonna get lied to. Kento and Saka are they, them, also she, her. I think I'm in the same position as last week, as probably having too much to promote. I don't know, like, exactly. The coolest thing right now is that the Magic the Gathering set that I was working on has been announced, but like it's not coming out until next year. So like,
two things. First of all, huge congratulations.
Oh yeah.
Secondly, everybody in the chat, please encourage Hiromi to get a link tree. Get a link tree, Hiromi. Just put link tree in the chat.
Yeah, I should do that.
Beautiful. And who's next?
Sebastian.
All right. My name is Sebastian Freeman. He, him. I am playing Grunge. He, him also. A pilot who feels like he was born in the wrong century, but is having fun with it anyway. If you want to check out some of my stuff, most of what I've written so far can be found in the Storyteller's Vault. But watch out very soon, hopefully very, very soon, for a product for the Trinity Continuum, which will be basically a cinematic style of game, even more focused than the core game is.
Sweet, looking forward to that.
James?
My name is James Zambrano. My pronouns are he, they, and I've been playing Cheche today, whose pronouns are across the spectrum, depending. Gosh, I think I don't know when this is going out, Travis, but I think when this is going out, should the Apocalyptic Record Kickstarter still be going on?
If it's not started yet by then, it would be very, very close to starting, and it will definitely be going otherwise.
Okay.
My guess would be this will be during it. So
I'm part of that. Like, I've been writing on that project, if you want to check that one out. Also, I believe there'll be more information out about the Transformers role-playing game I've been working on. So there should be a lot of stuff going on when this comes out.
Sweet.
And that leaves our glorious player of Finn Wukong, who is Cheche's best friend right now.
Yeah, I know. We're going around like gangbusters. I love it. The Legion of the Norse, man. Anyway, hi, my name's Scott Cuban. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Lieutenant Finn Wukong, who is also he, him. I run Simulacra Studios, which is an actual play studio on Twitch and YouTube at Simulacra TV. You can find me on Twitter at Simulacra RPGs. I'm the co-host of the Polyhedron RPG discussion podcast. Currently, what I've got going on is we are broadcasting our Trinity Continuum Aberrant actual play called Atomic Youth. That's Wednesdays at 5 p.m., both on my channel and being mirrored on the Onyx Path channel. Thank you very much. And I don't know when we're going to start releasing it, but together with a couple of buddies I've recently met up with, we're going to be premiering Opcast, Arms Around the Trinity Continuum, which is a review retrospective podcast about the Trinity Continuum, both Birth Edition and Current Edition.
Excellent.
So look for that. I don't know where that's going to be.
And definitely keep your eyes peeled. Maybe by then we'll have some notes I can drop in the chat for folks, because then we'll be now soon, as they say in Spaceballs. And so that, speaking of Spaceballs, that leaves me, President Scrooge. No, I am Travis Legge, he, him, and zero objection to singular they in reference to me. That's totally fine too. When I'm not doing this, I'm running games at my Twitch channel, which is Plastic Age Plays. I also do a little bit of writing and development every now and again on a book or two. You can find me on Twitter at Travis Legge, anywhere on the internet at Travis Legge, like it's written under my face. And I just want to once again thank all of these players for giving me such a wonderful cast to work with and such a wonderful story structure that we built in our session 0. I'm thrilled to see it coming to fruition. I'm thrilled to see it working out. I want to thank all of the players, all the audience members who are tuning in to check it out, whether you be watching on Twitch or on YouTube, wherever you're at. Please like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I would love to thank the good folks at the FDA for getting us that final approval on the Pfizer vaccine that has a very silly name. I can't remember. It's like Cove Don't or something. I don't remember what the name is. It's not good. They should have hired a new marketing person, but don't let that stop you from taking the vaccine, please. Mm-hmm. Go get your shots.
and Moderna is still Dolly Parton approved. Which, in my opinion, a higher authority.
Right. At least equal with the FDA. So
the highest authority.
I thought the highest authority was Snoop Dogg, who also encourages you to get your vaccine. What I'm saying is get your vaccines if you haven't. Mm-hmm. And we will see you again next time. Thank you so much.